It was the best of toilets and the worst of toilets. A few years ago, one of my branding clients was Toto. Toto is one of the world's best manufacturers of kitchen and bath appliances. Toilets, sinks, showers, all the hardware, all that stuff. Amazing stuff. It's a Japanese company, and the Japanese, if you've never been there, have what they call a bathroom culture that is something to behold. The technology in their bathrooms is next level. You come to a normal toilet in the United States and you do your business and you're flushing, whoosh, and you're done. Yeah, you may have to wipe some. You know the deal. But you're done, right? Get in, get out. Not Toto, not the Japanese. I helped them brand and sell a toilet that at the time was probably $4,000. It's called the Neorest, and affiliate link below. And it's special. It has a heated toilet seat. And if you've ever sat on a cold seat in the dead of winter in the middle of the night, I promise you, when you sit on a warm toilet seat on a freezing night in the winter, it's nice. It's nice. What else does it have? It has a built-in bidet. It comes out, there's a remote control up on the wall, and you push these buttons and this little wand comes out of the toilet seat and washes your behind. There's a button to adjust the temperature. You can make the water warmer, you can make it cooler. You can make it the pressure harder. You can kind of position the wand, where you want to touch the right, clean the right part of your bottom. And then after that, there's a blow dryer. There is a blow dryer that comes up the bottom of, you don't even need toilet paper. You do your business, you wash, and then you turn on the blow dryer, and it dries your bottom. It's nice. And while you're doing all this, there is an air purifier. There is a charcoal filter air purifier on this Toto Neorest toilet so you don't stank up the place. It is unbelievable. The whole thing, when I first got this toilet, I would have friends come over, and that was part of the experience of going to Rick's house. Oh, we got to try the toilet. I could tell people it's the ride of your life. Nice. So that's about as good as toilets get. One of the best products in the world. The very highest. The pinnacle of toilet technology. So that's one bookend of my experience with toilets. Let me tell you about the other bookend. The other bookend was the outhouse that my grandmother had behind her little wooden shotgun shack in Mississippi. And I would visit her during the summer. And I didn't have to get up in the middle of the night like I do as an older man. But when you would have to get up in the middle of the night and go out to that thing, it was cold. You had to get dressed. You had to sit in that cold-ass wooden hole that was cut out. Have you ever used an outhouse? Do you know what that's like? Really? Literally, there was a Sears catalog in this outhouse. This was back in the days where there used to be a Sears catalog. It was about that thick. And you'd read, as a young man, I'm going directly to the bra and underwear section. That was exciting for women. The big old panties and big old, it was nothing. By today's standards, it was nothing. But as a young boy, boy, that was something. But that was the toilet paper. I mean, you never rolled a toilet paper. You just tore a sheet out of the, not out of that section, but you tore a sheet out of the Sears catalog, and that's what you wiped with. All right? There was no heated seat, no heated water, no air dryer, no, none of that. The best in the world versus the most primitive. Well, I guess you could just squat out on the open ground. That would be more primitive, but an outhouse is pretty primitive. So I've been from one end to the other. Which one's better? Which one's better? Well, I have really fond memories of Mississippi. That little shotgun shack compared to my pretty affluent neighborhood couldn't compare. The material of it, the size of it, the quality of the construction, the amenities, all the fancy stuff, that we have. Compare that to my grandmother, her little shotgun shack. Outhouse. Well that I had to walk to across the field to draw water. We would heat that water on the stove and pour it into a tub in the kitchen. It was a tub about this big around, about that thick, about that deep, okay? And you would stand in that tub. Everybody else would step out of the kitchen. You'd stand in that tub with some hot water in there, and you would wash yourself standing in that little tub of hot water. Now, compare that to my fancy rainwater shower head and all this kind of stuff, yeah. Happier? Better? No. No. There was no more love in my home than there was in my grandmother's home. I have no memories that are any fonder in these days of affluence than I did in that near poverty. When I look back on those summers in Mississippi, that I think about those things I've described, and I also remember getting up early in the morning on a hot summer, man, and go out in the field and pick green beans and crowder peas, corn. Hot Mississippi summer. I look back at that fondly. Not at the moment. I wasn't exactly happy about it at the moment, but once we got out of the field and into the house and we started peeling the peas and shucking the corn and getting ready for dinner and just kind of doing the things that I was asked to do, there weren't more happy or more meaningful times in my life. I have no warmer memories than I do of that near poverty existence. My grandmother got government cheese. I remember the big blocks of government cheese. They'd go down to the town and there would be a big truck and they were handing out government cheese. There's never been a better tasting grilled cheese sandwich in my memory because it was made with love. It was made with the love of my grandmother. And she was a good cook too. I don't know that I've had a meal. There have been a couple of meals that I've had that have been really nice. But most of my meals I don't have any fonder memories of than that grilled cheese. I have stayed in some of the best hotels in the world. I've stayed in $1,500 a night suites. I've been in London, Paris, all over the place. really nice. New York, really nice hotels. I don't know that I could say I slept better in any of them than I slept in that bed in my grandmother's house. What am I trying to say? I was watching a movie, and it reminded me of this. There was a documentary I see on there's a guy on YouTube who drives out into the country, and he'll often drive through. It's a white guy, and he often drives through these black towns that are kind of run down, and he talks about them. Oh, how sad it is, and how terrible it is, and how these people just suffer, and it's so awful, and all this kind of stuff. A lot of the places he shows are just like the place my grandmother had. And my uncle, who was just across the other field, he had a similar place. They eventually got a bathroom, an indoor bathroom. I think it was only at the very end of my grandmother's life that they finally convinced her to let them build a bathroom onto her house. She was happy with what she had. Can you believe that? She could have had a modern indoor plumbing bathroom, and she was in her 60s and 70s, and she was just fine with what she had. So when I see this man talking about all this misery and all this poverty and all this sadness and how awful it is, and the subtext is, ain't it great to be a white person that ain't got none of this? Well, a lot of those houses that you were driving by, mister, had a lot of white folks in them too. Yeah. If you think that having lots of money is going to make you happy, I hope that comes true for you so that you get to learn that myth. I've been to both places. It all has to do with what's in your mind. It all has to do with gratitude and relationship and love and connection. Because if you have all of those things in a shack, love, family, connection, sense of meaning, a sense of purpose for doing what you're doing, you're blessed beyond words. I have known very, very affluent people in $10,000 square feet homes who were absolutely miserable. And if it had been 30,000 square feet, it would have been just as miserable. Life is not lived from the outside in. The true life is lived from the inside out. If you predicate your happiness, predicate your sense of meaning and success and self-worth on all these material things, you've messed up the formula. You're chasing the wrong things. Now, would I give up the things that I have? I'm kind of grown used to them. It's nice. But if it all ended tomorrow, if a tornado blew through here, I know that I could find happiness and meaning in the lowest places because I've been there and I had that experience. Tell me about this in the comments. Tell me about some of your good times in your poorest days. I can remember being a poor student, a poor struggling artist for years. I have no fonder memories compared to when I was making a whole lot of money. Those are still some of the best days of my life. Money doesn't solve it. Material things don't solve it. But buy you a Neorest. You deserve the treat. Chase meaning. Chase love. Chase purpose. Chase relationship. Chase connection. Chase cultivating a spiritual garden in your soul. See how that works out. Peace.